Cyberpunk 2077 version 1.6 is driving me nuts. I am losing it with this game. Every single, like I said, every single person that I've spoken to, every subreddit group that I've seen, and every Steam community hub that I've seen, or the Steam community hub that I've seen for this game, all say that this game works fine. Okay? They all say this game works fine, it works great, a couple of minor bugs. I have played this game for 28.4 hours, and I am not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. I think I've reloaded this game while playing in my 28 hours roughly over 100 times to fix small glitches or small bugs. Rather than just standing here and complaining about it, or voicing fair criticism, which is how I like to put it, I want to show you some of the minor bugs and other things that bug the hell out of me. If you haven't played Cyberpunk before, don't worry, there's going to be no spoilers, okay? No spoilers whatsoever, to the best of my ability. But I want to show you some of the things that are just ruining this for me. Here's a really, really good example, right? Here's a story mission. I'm gonna try, where should I load this in? I think around about here would be good. Let's see if this works. Because I need to show you some of the stuff that is, there's just minor things that are bugging me, and then there's huge stuff. Is the bug gonna happen? Now, I don't know if the bug's gonna happen here. I don't hear it, so I'm assuming not. But this area is a story mission, right? I won't tell you anything of what's gonna happen. This is a story mission where you're supposed... This is perfect. Listen to this. Okay, I'm sneaking in. No one knows I'm here. And the person I'm with, the lady I'm with, is supposed to be completely silent while I sneak in.
Limp dicks.
While I sneak into the area. Now, let me be very clear while I talk about Cyberpunk. I am talking about this from a immersive gamer's point of view. I am an immersive gamer to the point that I played through the entirety of the Division 1 by jogging rather than sprinting through cities, unless sprinting was necessary for combat, because I like to fully immerse myself in the world. That's what I love. I'm gonna lose it with this lady. I love being immersed in a world, being immersed in a game, and minor bugs like sneaking into combat with no gunfire. She said she's gonna watch over me, and she's standing there screaming at, just shouting at the enemies. This, and I want to be clear, happens constantly. And it's not just this. You might go, oh, is this just this one time? No. Almost every single time I've had someone with me during a mission, specifically, she has done it every single time, screaming while I'm trying. This is constant. This will go, this will go constantly for the next hour if I was to just sit here. It's not like it's just being triggered every now and then. The enemies have got no idea I'm here. We've just finished talking, and the problem is, as you just noticed, I loaded straight into this bug. The only way to fix this is to load in before we go through our whole conversation. And after doing that, and I've reloaded that about 5 times, just trying to get it to not happen. 5 times it took. Small things like that are driving me absolutely nuts with this game. Now, I see you say, Tavern, that this happens with a lot of games. I'm gonna be honest. I can't think off the top of my head of a single game this has ever happened to me in. So that's one of my minor issues. Another one of my issues, where's a good place to load in to show you? Because a lot of people might go, that's not really a problem. That's, you know, that's just a, that's nothing. What are you complaining for? Well, okay, let's go past, let's forget the minor bugs like that, or the minor bugs like you're talking to someone, they're walking towards you, and they're walking like this, and then they glitch, and then they're walking like this, and then they glitch, and they're walking like this. Let's forget about all the times where when you call your bike will drive straight through solid walls to get to you. Let's forget about all of that stuff, and let me show you my biggest, no, the pop-in is awful as well. You can see the water on the road popping in, and there's nothing I can do to fix that. Let me see, in fact, let me load into another section of the game. This one right here. I want to show you my biggest gripe with the game, which is combat. I think the RPG combat in this game might be the worst RPG combat that I've ever had to experience. Now, this is including every game I've ever played. My favorite games in this genre would be Fallout 3, Fallout 4, in terms of, you know, first-person shooter RPGs. What else? I love Skyrim, which isn't it's a first-person game, but it's not really a shooter unless you're using magic or arrows. What else? Mass Effect in terms of RPG I love. So I'm really experienced when it comes to games that have RPG combat, right? But in a game like, let's say, Fallout 4, RPG combat makes sense when you come across enemies that are stronger, because a Deathclaw is going to be way stronger than a bandit. So when you take out your gun and you shoot the bandit in the face, he dies. But you take your gun out and shoot the Deathclaw in the face, they don't die. Now, let me see if I can show you the thing that this is, and I cannot get over this. I'm pretty sure if I go up the street on the right, yes, there's an NCPD encounter here. Now, this goes for all mini side quests throughout the game. So on the map in the top right, it's telling me that straight through here, there's an NCPD engagement. So these are minor things that you'll find all around the map. So you would think that all these minor things would either be spontaneous events, right, that spawn in and everyone there is the same level as you. Or you would think that if they're not a spontaneous event that pop up every once in a while, if they're going to be a constant in the world. So if I drive past this at any time of the day, any day in this game, this event is always live, which for immersion's sake is awful. Because, for example, I walked by a bar that had a bunch of bandits or a bunch of chooms that were in there that were assaulting the staff and were stealing stuff, right? And one of them was like holding a gun over the edge of a bar. And I go, okay, this is cool. I'm going to get in and fight this. Let me show you exactly what I come across. Okay, they can see me. Let me just hide real quick. Let me show you exactly what happens to me. So, this is me, and this is my gun. This gun does 90 to 110 damage. I'm level 15. Now, scaling in this game, when it comes to levels, stops after level 30, from what I've heard. This was from a post a year ago, saying that after level 30, the enemies don't scale with your level anymore, which means I should be halfway to technical max level. So, my gun does 90 to 110 raw damage. It has a 150% headshot multiplier, and then also I've got a 2.5 times damage multiplier when attacking from stealth. On top of that, okay, if we go to handguns, I have 10% extra damage with revolvers and pistols. Just wait until the end of this. I have an extra 15% extra headshot damage. Then, just wait for it, I'm telling you this. Then, also, I've got an extra 20% headshot damage when outside combat. I have an extra 25% damage when sneaking. I have an extra 15% damage to humans. And I have an extra 7% crit chance while sneaking. And all that combines to when I use my pistol and I aim at this guy's head, you see that tiny little grey bit of his health bar? That's all the damage I'll do. That's it. That is it on every single one of these guys. Now you might be thinking, well, hold on a second. These guys have got a skull above them. You are only doing that little damage because they're way higher level than you. Cool. I'll come back when I'm the same level as them. How many more levels do I have to get in order to take them on? There's no way to tell. There is no way, from what I've gathered, unless I have completely missed something, in 28 hours of gameplay, I have not figured out how to tell when I'll be able to take these guys on whatsoever. It says Bounty Class 5. There's no level, there's no information, correct me if I'm wrong, that tells me when I'll be able to take on this random encounter that is permanently here in the game. Small things like this are driving me nuts. Under true, the suppressor does take damage off, but that's 90 to 110 damage after the suppressor damage is taken off. It's after. If I use oh my god, wait. If I use this gun, which is 285 to 348 damage with no suppressor and a 300% headshot damage multiplier, the strongest weapon I've ever found. Let's find out how much it does. I can't even one-shot headshot with a gun that it's just stuff like this is quite literally, with this game, driving me nuts. I know it's not the worst, right? And these are basic RPG things, but the idea that the fact that there's no proper enemy scaling, and there's no lore behind why that person can take like a massive 350 damage shot to the head and live. There's none whatsoever. In Fallout 4, which I think is the best example, and we'll probably see this a lot in Starfield, we'll get actual explanations as to why this thing is stronger than this thing. Super Mutant takes more damage than Bandit. Deathclaw takes more damage than Super Mutant. It all scales so well, and it makes sense. When you see, like, enemies' levels are scaled to how tough they are, well then you would think, well, hold on, these are all people in 2077. These people all have mods. They've all got augments. They've all got Chrome installed. Cool. Why doesn't hacking show me that? Why are events persistent throughout the world rather than being dynamic events, or just scale every single one of these events to your level? I think the overall thing that's really, really driving me nuts with this game is the feeling that the design is off, so it's not fun. Exactly, Trencher. And hey, Trencher. The design is off, but the thing that drives me nuts the most, right, is that no matter what I do in this game, I always feel like I'm not playing the game right. I don't know if anyone else kind of gets this same feeling, but I feel like I'm not playing the game right. So I booted up the game and I played through some story stuff, okay? There's an event that happens not to spoil anything, there's an event that happens quite early on in the game. A big event, right? And I got to that event really quickly, like within the first 4 hours of playing. And I felt like the game should have given me time to get more accustomed to it and sent me on missions throughout my small area of the city before having me play more story missions, as in there should be in-game days between each mission. For some of them there aren't, for some of them there aren't. Now I was talking to one of my mates right now, I was talking to one of my mates, not right now, the other day.
My husband and I, we need a somewhat delicate matter.
This is another thing that drives me nuts.
We think you could help.
You get phone calls non-stop while playing this game. I have had, you get phone calls so often, right? Hold on, I need to get through this now. There's no way to skip this conversation. There's no way to get her to be quiet. I am stuck talking to her.
Can't commit just now. Busy like I've never been.
I mean, dude,
unwise.
I really need to talk about the thing that frustrates me the most.
Well, I shouldn't discount the
The thing that frustrates me the most about this game is the fact that it's so beautiful, it's such a great world.
Try to squeeze us in and give me a call.
And there are so many small things that just drive me nuts. Instanced combat or instanced events with NCPD that don't scale to your level. The phone calls are non-stop to the point that I've woken up, after a story mission, I've woken up to a phone call, then my character's thrown up and had to end the phone call, and then another person phones me, and then that phone call ends, and another person phones me, and I continue off halfway through the first conversation, but I had to get hung up so I could throw up and then speak to someone else, and then speak to someone else, and then I've also got an NPC that's trying to talk to me as well. These errors, these issues are constant and unrelenting. No matter how I play this game, I feel like I'm playing it the wrong way. Talking to one of my mates, he was saying that he mainly just focused on the story missions and then did fixer contracts when he got phone calls to do them. Problem is, I'm 28 hours in, I haven't focused on story missions, and if I go to fixer contracts, let's say for, where's a fixer? For this one here, 005, no wait, what's the one that I was focusing on? Where is she? Where is Wakako? I don't know where Wakako is. She was, Wakako. It says 1 of 8 gigs completed. The problem is, if I drive over there right now to go and speak to her, she won't give me any missions. So I found out around about 12 hours in, you aren't given missions. They pop up in the area. So for some reason, there is a marker on your map that tells you where the fixers are, but the fixers don't give you missions. The fixers are just there to speak to. I like playing I like playing a stealthy build, okay? 28.4 hours in, no, 27 hours in is the first time I got access to a mod that would make my pistols non-lethal, which meant I had been playing this game for 27 hours, walking up behind people and choking them out. Because there was no access to a mod that would allow me to deal non-lethal bullet damage. You know what's annoying me right now? I feel like I'm really not making a good argument for why this game is not good. But the angle I'm trying to make it from is the angle of someone who likes to be immersed in the game. If you like to just run it, here's another bug. I'll exit a menu and the entire world will light up like Christmas and then go back to normal. Why does it do that? I have absolutely no idea. It does it constantly. When you wake up, when you exit a menu, it will do it. That bug will happen all the time. Can I show you a minor immersion bug that's driving me nuts? Just a minor one. And just for sake of hardware, in case anyone thinks that maybe it's my hardware, maybe it's something I've done. This is the latest build on Steam. I've got a 3080 Ti, a 5800X, 32 gig of RAM, at 3200 megahertz. It's installed on a Samsung NVMe.SSD. Windows 11, fully up to date. All my Nvidia shit's fully up to date. This is my gaming PC that has nothing to do with my streaming PC. Can I tell you a minor... Okay, this is just me complaining for the sake of complaining now. This is the last thing. I'm going to read through everything. The last thing. From an immersion point of view, the thing that drives me nuts is that every single light on the street goes green when you get near it. Every single one. You can't drive through... Oh, that one stayed red! Oh my god, that one stayed red! That's the first time I've driven through a red light this entire game. I've never driven through horizontal lights before. No, it's green again. Every single light. I don't know why this bugs me so much, but if you can imagine driving around in Grand Theft Auto and like if you like to immerse yourself, never having to stop for lights, like it means that doesn't seem like a big thing, but when you're in a combat or in a mission where you're driving around and you've got people chasing you, or if you shoot the police and you've got the police chasing you, you never crash into cars coming from the left or right side because every single light goes green for you. Doesn't seem like a big issue, but it's a little bit of a bigger issue than you would think, because you never get into collisions from the left or right side because the lights always go green. Oh, right, I'm just gonna catch up on everything. I really don't feel like I'm making a good point for why this game... I wish that I had recorded every single bug and glitch that I had encountered, because they just... all of them drive me nuts and are so persistent and consistent. Where's that bit? I just want to go back to this bit. And have her in the background to validate how I feel. Try being a Grand Theft Auto 5 online player. I've heard Grand Theft Auto Online is awful. By the way, remember Cyberpunk was supposed to have a full online component that never got released. How's anyone supposed to maintain interest if you're not getting 60 missions per second? That's a good point. That's a really good point. I've never had an issue on their servers. Also seems to be... this is my favorite. This is making me feel validated. I'm gonna turn this up just so I can hear her in the background. Just remember, this is a silent mission in which we've both agreed to be completely silent while going in to fight these guys. They don't know I'm here. She's just standing there screaming. This is constant. In every single facet of the game, I have characters I have characters driving through walls when I'm in the car with them. I have characters talking to no one. I've got animations that are playing, like this chick here, Panam. I've got other scenes where I'm walking with her and she's walking holding a gun with no gun in her hands. I've got... this is... How do I really emphasize right now how much this frustrates me? As someone who loves to get immersed in games,
hell yeah!
There is no room for immersion in this. And that's what frustrates me the most. See if you're a Far Cry 6 player, a Far Cry 4 type of guy, Far Cry 5, Far Cry Blood Dragon, Far Cry type of player. This game is fine. These small bugs don't bother you and you can grin and bear it. But on a game that's on update... But on a game that's on update 1.6, that's been out for a year plus, there's just no excuse for this game to have this many minor bugs. Yes, they're minor. They drive me goddamn nuts. They really do. Who's got time for non-lethal? Me. I love non-lethal combat. I love going silent. I love sneaking in, taking out everyone one by one by one by one. It is really just... makes sense though, bullets are lethal. There are... I'm going to turn this back down. There are mods in this game that allow your guns to deal non-lethal damage. And I believe that you should have the ability to play a game non-lethal with guns. There are mods you're not given access for 28 hours. Unless you play through the story missions for the first 8 hours of your game, then you get access to it, but there's no indicator on when or where you'll be able to unlock or get certain things, which frustrates me. I get it's a bunch of small things. It's a bunch of small, not so small things annoying you, which makes the game not fun. Exactly. And small things like this are why I've reloaded the game over 100 times in my 28 hours. Because I'm trying to sneak in and be immersed and enjoy myself, and it's just not happening. It's Cyberpunk 2077, of course. It's not hardware that's failing you. Yep. I can't believe you willingly ride bikes in first person. I ride everything in first person. I by the way, 28 hours in, I only just got my car back. Only just. Oh my god, the money-making system in this is so slow. Every single mission, whether it's a psycho... Oh my god, I forgot about that. Cyber psychos. So if you look on the map, right, you have missions to take on cyber psychos. I think, every single one of these is... Oh, that one says danger high. Now, I've taken on a bunch of very high danger cyber cycles, right? I've taken on 7, I think it is. But when I went to take on this specific cyber cycle, I wasn't able to do more than 1% of damage to him with a grenade, which does a lot of damage. Despite the fact that his danger is very high, and I've taken on cyber psychos with danger listed as very high, meaning that very high danger is not equivalent across the board, because there's no one very high danger level. It also means that, remember the small area before where I was, where you could use your pistol to hit, I was showing you I could shoot someone in the head and I'd do about 10% damage with all my buffs, all my perks and all my guns, right? Or the sniper would do 80% damage from a sneaking position to the head, 350 damage. Where was I going with this? My brain is completely turned off because I'm so just... There's so many... My brain is defaulting to... Can't deal with it. I've shut down. I'm just going to catch up. Such a shame because the universe is beautiful in this game. It is. The whole game is absolutely stunning. I think I was going to say that very high danger is not equivalent across the board, so determining whether or not you can take on a certain situation is mind-numbingly boring, as well as the fact that in this game, these cyber psychos are sightings, right? Every single one of them is persistent throughout the entire game, meaning that you could drive by here and this cyber psycho has only just lost his mind and is killing people in this area, or is fortified himself in this area, and it's only just happening. It's happening right now, and you need to do it. You need to deal with it right now. It's happening right now. But then you could also sleep for 3 weeks and come back, and it's happening right now. It's only just happened. The same cyber psycho is still here, fortified, and still killing people. It's small things like this in terms of being immersed in the world that it really feels like when they made this game, the developers of it did not care about immersion whatsoever. They cared about making an RPG. Immersion be damned. And I thoroughly dislike that kind of, gameplay. I really, really do dislike it. Arguments always sound stupid to yourself when you say them out loud, when you're a smart person. No, I feel like I really just haven't made very good points here, and I should have had more saves ready to show you guys more bugs that I've encountered. I think the bright screen was a good example. This one right here where everything just went bright again. Where she's just standing here screaming, I think that's a decent example. I think in terms of immersion, a decent argument, for like... cyber cycles are persistent. Every NCPD interaction is persistent. Enemy scaling is completely out the window. It's terrible. 28 hours in, only just getting access to a non-lethal mod to attach to my pistol. I think that's a good argument for immersion. Even small things like every single traffic light going green when you drive through it in terms of immersion, meaning you can never get into a car crash from the left or right side in a high-speed chase, which is exciting to have to avoid that. Or let's say you're driving down the road on a motorbike and a car comes from the right side while you're being chased by the police. That throws you off your bike, so now you're on foot trying to find another car to get into, or you have to hold them off with a gun. That can never happen because every light goes green and cars always stop. That's one of those things that can, it doesn't sound like a big deal to begin with, all the traffic lights go green, but when you think about how much you lose in terms of content, that's huge to me. Fixers, icons being on the map constantly, but there being this, by the way, is just go and meet someone for a story mission. There's no missions in this entire area, despite the fact it says 1 out of 8. And you can't just get missions whenever you want. This one here says 4 out of 23, and it says it's only, when I hover over it, it's only this small area of the map. But her missions account for the entire map, so it's not locked to just that area, despite the fact that Wakako's missions are just locked to her area. There's a lot of really confusing small things in this that just are frustrating to look at. I think another like a thing that bugs me is like the NPC pathing is really bad, like really, really bad. If you're walking around in the city and you actually just stop and look at what everyone's doing, the amount of clipping into each other and stuff like that is absolutely unreal. Panam's a badass. I love Panam. By the way, I think Panam is possibly the most beautiful character in a video game that I have ever seen. The design of characters in this is downright perfect. It really, really is. It's incredible. I've never seen characters in a video game that look so good. What's his name? Keanu Reeves looks pretty amazing. Every single character that I've seen in this game just looks incredible. The facial design, the graphics, the animation of those characters in those scenes is pretty good. But
Perfect. Keep broadcasting over an open channel, just in case they missed you the first time. God, I swear.
stuff like this, right,
Something's not right.
is phenomenal.
Those shots. V, something happened to them.
It makes you feel like you're in a movie.
But no Scorpion or Mitch.
Which I think is one of the things that frustrates me the most. Every single scene, I feel like, every single scene with a character, I feel like I'm in a movie. But if you can imagine, this is, in fact, this is how I'm going to finish this off. This is what this game feels like to me, okay? 1 second, it's this.
Looks expired. Fuck.
You've got the music, you've got the character talking, you've got the great animation, you've got the tense, everything is amazing, okay? Imagine this, or imagine you're watching Batman, what was the first one? The Dark Knight, okay? And which one was it where the Joker was in it? Imagine it's that scene where the Joker is being interrogated by Batman and you know, he's grabbing him and he's screaming at him, and then all of a sudden, one of the boom mic guys just lowers the microphone into the shot and then pulls it back out. But they don't cut that from the scene. Imagine one of the lighting guys walks over and just like knocks over something and then walks back out the scene. And they don't cut that from the movie. That's what this entire game feels like. It feels like I'm watching The Dark Knight and they haven't cut all the stupid shit that happened throughout the entire filming of the movie. That's perfectly what this feels like. And then every now and then they add something stupid to the movie that leaves you sitting there going, why did you do that? Why was this a decision that you made for this game? Oh, just...
V, connect to the drone. We'll scan the area. We have to get our bearings.
So many things that just... oh, drive me absolutely nuts with this. I want to like it so badly. And so I have a solution. This is the twist that you didn't expect. I have a solution for how to make this game better, and I'm going to actually try it. I found this. It is an ultra realism mod for Cyberpunk that makes enemies deal way more damage to you, and you can kill them in a couple of bullets. I absolutely love the look of this. This is how this game should have been made. You put the game on the hardest difficulty there is available, and then you play it like this. I think this looks so much better than the base game. Being able to actually shoot and kill people in Cyberpunk. A crazy... He got shot once, his health went down to 43 from 130. Perfect. Why this wasn't in the game to begin with blows my mind. It's a full armor conversion mod as well, where all clothing is just clothing and you have to add armor mods on to protect yourself. You have to use health to heal yourself because you actually take damage that's fair. I am going to try that out. And I'm going to go back into Cyberpunk with a realistic combat overhaul with the same shitty immersion destroying bugs. And I want to know, is the game playable when you're using that mod? That's what I really want to know. Can you look past all the stupid bugs if the combat is really good? I don't know. Did you know there's a Cyberpunk VR mod? I did. I was gonna get it, but there's a couple of small bugs with it that I don't like the look of. You should make videos, all the little things, frustrations by Blue. Dude, there's so many small things that bug me. The last really good RPG I played was The Division. That was the last really good one that I played for immersion. It was absolutely incredible. And that's the thing with, I remember everyone was complaining about how spongy all the enemies were in The Division, but you could get a good sniper rifle and take out anyone in one-shot headshot, which is not something you can do in that. I actually quite like You've Got to Work to Make Cash in this game. Always gets me excited when I found an ATM I could hack. See, but I didn't enjoy just running, like, I didn't feel like just running up to random ATMs in the game in order to steal cash was a good, you know, it didn't feel good to have to steal money from banks constantly. Like, the money in the game felt really off. For example, you can take on a cybercycle, which is a really dangerous task, and you'll get on average around about 1,400 to 1,600 euro dollars. Or you could rob a single ATM and get 1,000. And you can rob round about 3 ATMs in the time that you can rob, or in the time that you can take on one cybercycle. The balancing of it was really off, especially when getting the first car in the game costs over 10 grand. I think it was 15 or 12 or something like that. So you'd have to take on like 7 cybercycles or whatever it would be in order to buy one car. It doesn't seem quite right, especially when if you make the ATMs pay out 400, then taking on a cybercycle is worth it. But if you make the ATMs pay out $1,000, I don't know, dude. Surprised they're already working on a sequel. So am I. I hope that they're only working on the story because, and I know they're going to release it in Unreal Engine 5. Thank God that engine could not handle what they were trying to do with it, or they didn't know how to make it do what they wanted. Autorealism is fine so long as the NPCs aren't stupid and can actually put up a fight. Yeah, I mean, you have to play it on very hard mode, which means the enemies see you quicker and are smarter. So hopefully the realistic combat overhaul is as good as I think it's going to be. My main thing is, can I kill you in one shot to the head? If the answer is yes, then I like it. Can I be killed in 3 shots to the chest or 2 shots to the head? Yes. Cool. I like that. Man, I have so many ideas for terrible jokes about bullet damage I can never say out loud. Thank you for restraining yourself. Oh, man. My disappointment with Cyberpunk, I know I've not made incredibly good points why I don't like it, but I think the thing that frustrates me the most is how close to perfect it is. I've been thinking about Cyberpunk every single day for the last week. All I've wanted to do is play that game and be in that world, and every single time I'm in it, I'm frustrated by all the small things that still aren't fixed. It's got... I think, you know what? I think this is what parents feel like about their kids when they don't turn out the way they want. You know? You just look at them and you're like, You had so much potential. That's how I feel about Cyberpunk. It's so much potential that's just wasted on all these minor bugs that I can't believe they've still not been able to patch. Cyberpunk is a disappointment.